Are you a homeowner who's looking for a way to make your home impossible to sell? Then slap some leased solar panels on your roof and consider it done. Hi, I'm Matt DeFanis, broker-owner of RE/MAX Realty Associates with offices in Champaign, Mahomet, and Monticello, Illinois. A few years ago, I posted a video that was quite critical of solar panels, mostly because they were expensive, poked holes in your roof, and did not add measurably to the market value of your home. So unless you were personally going to be there long enough to save more in energy costs than the price of the panels, they didn't make financial sense. Even now, I still don't believe the presence of solar panels typically adds dollar for dollar to the value of the house compared to the cost of the panels. But we are now seeing that buyers will make higher offers when they know the higher purchase price includes the promise of near zero energy bills. But this has to be backed up with utility billing history that proves that savings. So while I still wouldn't recommend buying solar panels if a home sale is in the near future, modern solar panels really can save more than the cost to purchase and finance them. But many people get sold on leasing solar panels, not buying them. And this creates myriad problems when you sell your home. Anything permanently affixed, which generally includes being nailed down or screwed in, is a fixture, and therefore is normally automatically part of the real estate. But in the case of a leased solar array, you've got tens of thousands of dollars of hardware that is very much affixed to the house, yet it's not part of the real estate and some other company owns it. The idea is that the company that owns the panels warrants and services them, and the homeowner saves more in energy costs than the monthly lease payments. But when you sell your home, no buyer wants to pay market value for your home and then also agree to assume a lease for a solar array they didn't pick. From the solar lease agreements that I've seen, there's two things that are certain. Number one, all solar panels, at least the ones now, will produce slightly less electricity with each passing year. Additionally, the lease payments will go up by a few percent every year. Got that? You're going to spend more money every year over the course of 10 or 15 years to get less electricity production each year. People in my profession are real estate brokers, not used solar panel lease transfer specialists. Almost no reasonable buyer would assume a lease on a used solar equipment array they didn't select. And if the seller signs a sales contract on the house without getting a written assumption of the solar lease agreement, that seller has now promised to sell the house while still remaining liable for thousands or maybe tens of thousands of dollars of continued lease payments on a solar array generating electricity for a house they no longer own. When the seller gets threatened with litigation by the solar company for defaulting on the lease, they may then be forced to pay a hefty lump sum to buy their way out of that remaining obligation. So how do we work through this minefield? It can be done, but it requires knowing how to diffuse the mines. If you're a homeowner considering the sale of your home, study the fine print on that solar lease. All of the leases I've seen have buyout provisions that can be triggered by various events, but most commonly the sale of the house. When preparing to list your home for sale, contact the solar vendor to get a buyout quote. Be ready to provide whatever notice is due under the solar lease contract prior to the closing date of the sale of your house. With that buyout number in hand, you at least now know what amount of your home sale proceeds will need to be directed to pay that off, so the solar panels now get transferred free and clear to the new owners as a fixture, no residential lease or financing obligations attached. Buying out a long-term contract is not a fun expense, but it's far better than rendering your home unsaleable because no reasonable buyer is willing to assume a years-long lease payment obligation on used solar panels. If you're a home buyer and you're considering the purchase of a home with solar panels, it's imperative that you find out if they're leased or owned. Either way, get all the details you can in terms of the warranty, both on the solar equipment, but also warranty coverage for the roof leaks that may be caused by the many roof penetrations associated with mounting the panels. But if the system is leased, write your offer in a way that specifies that the solar panels and related hardware will be transferred to you as part of the sale and not that you're assuming the lease or any sort of financing arrangement. At this point, right now, most agents seem not to know how to get through this minefield, which could mean selling a home and getting threatened with litigation by your solar vendor, or buying a home only to discover that tens of thousands of dollars of solar panels don't belong to you. As a real estate broker, the complex legal obligations and contracts that pertain to solar are not in my wheelhouse or within the scope of my license. That's why it's important that you be equipped with enough knowledge to ask the right questions, but also that you retain an attorney and let that attorney know early. By early, I mean before a sales contract has been signed, that there are leased solar panels attached to the house. I love that modern solar installations can virtually zero out most homes' electricity usage and often power their EV to boot. But you have to know how to handle the additional complications that this clean energy resource brings to the home sale. As always, I welcome your comments below, and my team and I love hearing from you with questions.